will begin by welcoming our guests to our webinar session. It is just a very quick informative session just to let you know what the RÉCIT is about, what we've been up to. On the screen here, you see a QR code as well as a link for our presentation. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about, what the RÉCIT can do for you. It could be something as simple as helping you create a short link, as you see, or a QR code to accompany a document, file, folder, link. My name is James Byrne, and I'm an education consultant with Riverside School Board. I've been with the RÉCIT Vocational Training Network since 2016, and I have a national mandate, so I serve the entire province of Quebec, and I will let my colleague, Marc Vizina, introduce himself.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm the new addition to the RÉCIT VT team. I'm a former cooking teacher, and I started consulting for RÉCIT, the integration of technology in vocational education only last September. So welcome, everyone.
And every day has been a treat since. The plan today is really short and sweet and simple. Is a presentation of the RÉCIT network in its entirety, the services that vocational training portion of the RÉCIT network can offer and accompany you with, and also, of course, sharing the means to stay in touch via, our communication channels, websites, social media platforms, etc. And so what we'll do is we will go through this information. And again, if you have any questions at any time, you can drop them in the chat. In English, en français, we can answer you in any language that you choose to communicate with us, as long as we understand that language. So the objectives of this short time that we have together today, again, is to provide context of the mandate that we have with the RÉCIT Vocational Training. Some of this, is one thing on paper, but that's why we are having this webinar information session to inform you of everything that we can do. If you've ever wondered, like, I've got an idea, I wonder if James or Mark could help me out with this. Well, that's why we decided to have this information session to, I guess, broadcast and to let you know what we are. So very briefly, what is the RÉCIT? The RÉCIT is a network, a family of consultants, and basically started off with a very small family, but we'll get to that in a bit. So en français, c'est le réseau pour le développement des compétences des élèves par l'intégration des technologies. And no, there will not be a quiz at the end of this session. Translated in English, roughly, it is the network for education, collaboration, innovation, and technology, if we take each one of those letters and break them down for the acronym that it is. The RÉCIT has been around for more than 20 years. This thing started really moving in the early 2000s, and then after that picked up, I guess about 15 years ago, and then really started picking up 5 years ago with the creation of the Digital Action Plan by the Ministry of Education, and then, of course, accelerated one more time for distance education when the pandemic hit in 2020. And now, if we look at a timeline in 2022, we are still working with educators across the province in order to help them with whatever method of teaching they would like to be doing, whether it's in person, hybrid. We're available to help with all of these solutions that you may be looking for. I keep mentioning that the family is growing and growing. The latest statistics is we're over 315 plus consultants. I believe when I joined, that number was probably about half of that. So with the announcement of the Digital Action Plan 5 years ago, it grew exponentially, as you can see the numbers on the screen. At the RÉCIT, we have several I want to call them like networks or layers of service, if you will. We have consultants at the local level, which are either in the vocational training center or at a school board office. We have the regional services, which I'll get to in a little bit, and as well as the national service. In a nutshell, this is what the RÉCIT can offer. training and support. And again, this can vary on a multitude of levels, topics, and subjects, which we'll go into detail. Creating and sharing resources that either you've created or have, or a colleague may have, shared with you and you wish to share alike as well. Campus RÉCIT, which is a wonderful place to go to for training in both English and French. You could, start a training on any diverse field of topics on the topic of your choice. We have webinars such as this one that we're doing right now, workshops and events, right? So this could be, again, a more at-large type of training. So when we mention training, it could be, one-on-one or small group of trainings, groups of 5 or 10 or whatnot, or some a quick training over a lunch break. And then we have the EJAT sessions, which is just-in-time intervention. We do have a feature on our website where you can contact us, and it's our pleasure to just help you out. If you're in a jam or you need a very quick solution, we are there to give you a hand if that is the case. So let's go in a little bit more detail as to break those topics down that we've just talked about as to what we can do for you. As we can see here, the word training is italicized because training could mean a variety of things, right? So we have to take that word with a grain of salt because training could look like a variety of things. It could be in person, it could be online like we're doing at the moment. So it could include a plethora of things such as iPads, interactive whiteboards, and when we say IWBs, of course, now we have smart TVs, we have tactile screens that we can interact with. So it's no longer just smart boards, if you will. Video equipment, again, this can resemble a variety of things. It could be a digital camera. It could be a tablet that's not of the iPad name. And of course, something that I hold very dear to me is augmented virtual and mixed reality equipment. This is the cutting edge of what we're doing right now in vocational training. We have centers who are using the HoloLens 2 headset to really explore the educational landscape and harnessing technology to be able to make great things happen. So we're excited about that. We're also able to provide training on everyday items that we use. So learning management systems, or LMS. So here on the screen, we have Teams, we have Moodle, we have Google Classroom. Again, this could be a very niche, very small topic related to any of these topics. So for example, if you're familiar with H5P in Moodle, you've had an introduction to it, you want to go take that one step further, we'd be happy to work with you for this for anything related to an LMS. We're also proud to be able to provide training on adaptation tools. So you may have used in the past applications or platforms such as Immersive Reader, which is built into Microsoft Edge and other Windows products. We also have provided support for in the past on WordQ and Read and Write. And very common nowadays as well is ever since the pandemic, we then turned to online meetings, in terms of video conferencing. So you just see just about an example of tools on the screen. So we have Zoom, which we're using right now to broadcast this webinar. We're very familiar with Teams, with Google Meet, as well as Whereby. But again, this is just but an example of tools. Between colleagues, we've tested out other applications and always wanting to know, what is the advantage of one versus the other. And again, it could be a simple question as that. If you drop us an email and say, look, I'm considering, using Teams instead of Google Meet that we've been using for past little while. Can you give me the pros and cons or the advantages of one versus the other? That's what we're here for. We'll be happy to give you those solutions. There's also things about, again, the Office suite, and I'm not going to go into specific detail, but, Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365, which they are rebranding themselves to be called. which again includes the online version as well as the desktop or locally installed versions of the software. We're able to provide solutions for the Google Workspace for Education suite as well that we all are familiar with. So some boards are still using one or the other. We've seen boards use, for example, Google in the classroom, but Microsoft Office on the back end for anything administrative or emails. So it's a very the landscape varies accordingly, and that's what the large RÉCIT family is able to do, is to provide support for any of these subjects. There's also video production. So part of what we do at RÉCIT is if we are invited to your centers, into your classroom, we'd be happy to film teachers and students in action. Perhaps it was a project that you applied for and realized, and now that this project has went from a dream to a reality, we've gone into classrooms and filmed this this success, I'd like to call it, and so part of the tools that would help to edit and to share and to publish these videos are on the screen. So there have been a lot of tools over the years, and again, this is merely a suggestion of tools that we are familiar with and have worked with. We have VideoPad, we have OpenShot, Adobe Spark, and Canva, to name a few. I think that Canva is the latest runner-up that we have, and that the video editing tools have been recently added to the Canva platform. And so again, this is ever changing. We do prefer to provide free solutions, and again, this is an ever evolving aspect that we keep our eye on to provide, again, the most complete, but at the same time, cost-free solution. And I should have mentioned off the bat too that everything at RÉCIT that we do, the support is always free, so you'll never incur a cost for it. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Should have mentioned it off the top. So we like to provide support for assessment tools as well, right? So whether it's a more serious assessment tool like Socrative, which has been around for many years, or something a little bit more engaging and fun, such as Kahoot. These are platforms and applications that we have explored in the past, and we'd be happy to pass that training and support on to you. Virtual whiteboards such as Jamboard is very popular as well. Whiteboards seem to pop up everywhere. We have the Microsoft whiteboard, which is part of the Office suite or even included in Teams. Again, Jamboard, which is included in the Google suite of applications, and Miro as well, which is a very nice complete application, which is free to use if you sign up for an educational account with Miro, and enables you to have more colleagues and collaborators on your team. So it is a really neat application to explore. Have you not had the chance to explore that application? We always like to keep in mind the digital action plan and the digital tools of reference in mind when we are providing this training. So some of the things that we've done in the past is look at, for example, Bloom's taxonomy. We're currently exploring UDL specifically for vocational training, and how that applies to the field of VT. We have PLC community or PLC groups as well for VocEd, which we do meet and collaborate together on that as well. And of course, the digital competency framework, which we can see on screen. So every time that we do a workshop or training, we like to keep in mind these competencies and this framework to not just showcase a tool or show how to use a tool, but also the impact that this will have on the students in the classroom, and that learning is tailored for all and not just one or some, right? So that we always keep that in mind. And of course, the training media could vary. The landscape is very different. We have asynchronous self-training, which can be accessed at any time via Campus RÉCIT. So again, this is a Campus RÉCIT is a website where we can sign up for a free account and start the learning process on our own. Formal training as well, so lecture, demonstration, and exercises, again, in person or online. Cooperative learning and custom made to basically fit your needs and your ideas. Personally, when I give a workshop or a training, I may send a form to just basically survey and ask, all of the teachers or participants who will be participating in the training, just to give us a brief synopsis as to, what they know, what they'd like to explore. And this really does help us to basically tailor custom make the training or workshop so that, everybody is on the same page and at the same level at the same time. Training can be for a variety of educational staff. So as we see on the screen, center staff, a group from different centers, which we call LVIC. So in the English community, I have done workshops in the past where one center or will be the host, and educators from across the province can register and join. Of course, this was pre-pandemic, and so it's still ongoing, and it will be nice to once again see everybody in big groups. Although that's not far from reality, but I am looking forward to the next one. It could be a quick one-on-one, like we saw the EJAT, the interventions just in time over a lunch break, or even right now, for an example, on-site, online, hybrid, anything that will, if it fits your schedule, it fits our schedule, and that's how we like to do at RÉCIT VT. We also like to showcase innovative practices. As we mentioned, right, one of the things that we enjoy doing, that we're passionate about, is that we like to visit centers. If there's a project that you're working on with colleagues or that students are in the process of doing, we can film this. We can write an article about it as well. We will publish it. We will share it with our friends at the RÉCIT Formation Professionnelle, who likewise, they will put it on their website as well. So such an example is the Microsoft HoloLens event that's coming up. Last May, we had the opportunity to go to a center in Victoriaville to see a great project where they showcase the high-end HoloLens, augmented reality headset. So we did videos about this. There was an article written, and even though that information was written in French, it will be translated, published, and shared back in English as well on the variety of our communication channels when ready. We have our newsletter. We have our website. I know that some of you have received our newsletter as well. So the newsletter goes out monthly, about the third week, if I'm not mistaken, third week of each month. We do publish a newsletter with upcoming events that have happened in the past month, and anything basically to keep an eye out for. We have social media as well. So Mark and I have our Twitter accounts. We also communicate the variety of information through our newsletter is where that happens, and through the Proceed network as well. We do have the vt.proceed.ca website, which is a social media-ish like platform where, again, educators from vocational training across the province are welcome to join for free to communicate, to exchange with their colleagues, and it's a really great it's a really great place to meet and exchange over that website. Examples of resources that we can help to help you create, rather. So again, this is just merely an example of items that we can help you with, whether it's an online tutorial using a variety of tools, step-by-step guides. So for example, do this step, click next, do this step, click next. Interactive lesson plans. So again, I'm thinking of applications, a variety of applications that are either standalone platforms or integrated in another service. We have pedagogical websites. We could show you how to do a video demonstration and how to share that video, progress tracking tools for students, and so forth, right? So again, this is just it's not a list from A to Z, but let's just say that there's a lot that we could help you with what you see here on the screen. And we could also provide training about any equipment, software and applications, digital tools that ties in with the pedagogy. It varies, really. It's according to your needs, right? So again, we've been mentioning, we like to, tailor make the training that we will provide for you. And this is how we do it, is we like to collect information, meet with you firsthand, and then after that, go forward and provide this training for you and your staff. And so I'll just talk very briefly about the vt.proceed website. I can see here that we have just 5 minutes left of our time here together. So vt.proceed.ca is a great one-stop shop for exchanging with your, either your program, your sector, your department. As you see here on the screen, you could be in starting a business, you could be a hairdressing, you could be welding, auto mechanics. If you sign up and you join your group, it doesn't mean that you can't exchange with colleagues or with other groups as well. So for me personally, it's a great place to send out information as well. So when, for example, about the HoloLens event happening next Friday in Montreal at the Microsoft offices, this is where we would broadcast that information to go ahead and to sign up. So, if you haven't signed up for vt.proceed.ca, it's great, it's free, and I believe you still need your school account to do so. They've just added a chat feature about an hour ago to the website, which is great. So now when you go onto the website, you can have an instant chat with the moderator of the site should you have any questions or whatnot. So that's again, as I mentioned, things are constantly evolving. Well, that's an example of it right there. I mentioned Campus RÉCIT. So Campus RÉCIT, which the link is clickable in our presentation, is also free to sign up. Where I'd say there's more and more English resources that are popping up there. Of course, the website is predominantly French, but you will find a handful of resources added there by ourselves or colleagues within the Anglo RÉCIT network. We also have Learn colleagues too, who've contributed to the resources available on the Campus RÉCIT website. Of course, our pride and joy is our own RÉCIT Vocational Training website, which is updated quite frequently. So here on the screen, you just have a couple of images from the website. The top image explains what the website's purpose is. And on the bottom, the homepage and other sites as well, you can see that there's either an instant chat feature, or you could always click there and choose to send us a message as well. And so this is a great way to, if you want to get in touch with us, you want to request immediate help, well, then this would be the way to go about it. And the address is, of course, on your screen. At the same time, on the website or through this presentation, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. Our newsletter does go out once a month. And I believe when you visit one newsletter, you can also see the previous editions as well. And so there's quite a few sections of the newsletter which are interesting to read. And so we have a few columns that are repeated every month, and those columns are on the right. So we have a calendar for our upcoming events. We have cookie history, which basically is the opposite and tells you what we've been up to in the past since the last edition of the newsletter. We have bookmarks, so interesting applications or websites that we've come across, cyber news, and comment section for a variety of things that may be that fit into the various section there as well. So it is something that I'm quite proud of, and hats off to Mark, who does a great job in putting together our newsletter every month. Thanks, Mark. Lastly, we have on the screen here, so we've talked about our website, we've talked about our newsletter, and we've talked about the vt.proc.ca website. All of the links will bring you to the site, as well as the QR codes will do the same. And that brings us to the end of our presentation.